morning. And for those of you that have been with us already, I hope you got a chance, well, maybe not, but to grab a cup of coffee and get hunkered down for the next one, because we're taking you now from Africa to the island of Bonaire. And we have with us Augusto Montbrun. He is the dive shop manager for Buddy Dive, and he is going to take us away from Bonaire. So here we go. Thank you, Augusto.
You're very welcome. Well, first of all, Cheryl, Kerry, and Deep Blue, thank you very much for organizing this. I think it's great that we can stay alive via the technology, let me put it like this, and it's a good opportunity for me, representing Buddy Dive Resort, to share with many of you that are at this moment online what we have on Bonaire and what we have to offer. I'm pretty sure that a big majority, if not most of you, have been to the island, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of you who never been here. So it's a good combination, because for long-time repeaters who call this a home away from home, it's nice to refresh and maybe give you some info that you didn't know exist on the island. And for first-timers, and hopefully soon, I'll have plenty of information to share. So please sit back, relax, grab a drink, and enjoy the ride. At the end, like Cheryl says, we have time to answer any questions you have. So let me start with this beautiful picture from the sides, the south of the island of Bonaire, and I will walk you through what we have. Geographically, Bonaire is located very close to Venezuela, as you can see down left, and it is close, but let me put it like this. Nowadays, it's good to know that we're also far enough from Venezuela with the crazy situation that is going on there. But in favor of Bonaire, compared to the rest of the Caribbean, the island of Bonaire is away from the hurricane belt, meaning that we don't get affected as many other destinations in the Caribbean that, as we know, get hurricanes going through, and there's devastation. Obviously, traveling in those months is kind of not advised. In the case of Bonaire, through the year or year-round, you're more than welcome to come. Definitely, when it's a hurricane season, we might get some weather changes, perhaps some more rain or some rain, wind reversals or such, but the diving keeps going. And that's something to take in consideration when planning a trip to the island of Bonaire. As general information about Bonaire, it's a really small island in the end, but big enough to hold a good amount of local residents, 21,000 inhabitants. I've been on this island for 18 years, and I can tell you when I came here, we were only 12,000. So it's clear that the island is on a way of development. And I will say, it's not my place to decide where it's good or bad, but what I can assure you is that development can bring also some positive things for us who like to travel, for us divers who like to explore, because obviously airlift is been opening, is becoming more available. Not the cheapest yet, but in some cases you find very good opportunities, very good connections that open Bonaire as an interesting diving destination. The island itself is shaped like a boomerang, and as we can see on the slide, all the red dots are dive sites, quite a lot, and they're all on the west coast of the island, northwest, west itself, and southwest. That means that they're sheltered from the wind and waves that, as we know, Bonaire is a windy island. Beautiful trade winds pretty much go through the island on a yearly basis, but having all the dive sites on the west coast give you the opportunity to go diving without worrying about waves, strong winds or such that could affect your diving. So there's a marine park on the island. It was established in the late 60s, and that gave Bonaire the opportunity from early times to protect our nature. The island have nothing, but has a lot. And when I mean nothing is that on land, it's a deserted island. It's really flat. So we have a lot of cactuses and nothing else, flamingos, donkeys, and people. But when we go below the surface is where we find our treasure, the reef. And that reef, long time ago, represented to Bonaire the future and today's life of Bonaire. And the Marine Park decided to take care of it, to protect it, and today is a role model for the Caribbean. We do have a capital, it's called Kralendijk. It's in the center of the island. And it's where most of the activities happen. Banks, obviously, office of the government and such. So there's definitely an island who have some motion when it's about lifestyle, daily routine for people that are not related to the tourism sector. The airport is being expanded, so now the airport is able to obviously accommodate big planes, and I can talk about, for example, KLM, who flies here daily, not at the moment as we know. So 737, 777, they can land on this island pretty comfortable. The currency of the island is the dollar, so it's very convenient for American travelers because they don't have to worry about exchanging rates or such. They can just pay anywhere they want with the local currency, which is the dollar. Language is also a good advantage for the island and travelers from the US. English is widely spoken. The official language of the island is the Dutch, but Spanish, Papiamento, and English are spoken all over the island. So communication will not be an issue. To give you some ideas of what we have here and the conditions of the sea and the beauty of what we have. On this picture, we can see that you can go from snorkeling with turtles to kite surfing to windsurfing, even cave exploration. The island of the island of Bonaire have at least 300 caves. And although they're not open for diving, because we do have some caves with water in it, they're open for exploration with a local guide. And you can go to dry caves or also wet caves. In the case of the wet caves, we'll take you on a snorkeling trip, which is awesome. It's something that many people don't know that the island have to offer, but we do have, obviously, the knowledge and the possibilities to take you into the caves. Here's a picture from one of my colleagues. She's been broadcasting via social media, Macy, on the bottom left in one of our caves. Definitely, there's a lot of history on the island. On the top left, we have red slaves. On the south of the island, believe it or not, those tiny houses were the home for the slaves during the era of salt production, which still happens, but obviously during the slavery times. On the top right, that's on the Washington National Park. And that used to be the house of the plantation home for slaves and obviously the patrons who were running that at the time. Nowadays, the Marine Park, in this case, the Washington National Park Management, set it up in a way that guests can take advantage of the shade, for example. And if you live on the island, you can rent that whole complex and you can spend a very nice weekend. I've done it many, many times and I tell you, it is fantastic. As a tourist, when you come to the island, you have access to the park by paying the Marine Park fee. You will be able to enter the Washington National Park. And I recommend everybody to go there at least once, do 1 or 2 dives, also some sightseeing. And it's an amazing place to go, contact with nature at all times. And it gives you a very nice feeling of being by yourself and do what you want, when you want, and where you want. Bottom right, we have the tiny island of Plaine Bonaire. Only half a mile away from Bonaire, we have this small island that belongs, let me put it like this, belongs to Bonaire and is under the jurisdiction of the Marine Park, meaning, in other words, that no construction is allowed there. No overnight staying is allowed there. So there's 25 dive sites over there, and they're meant to be used for, obviously, recreational purposes, diving, snorkeling, and such. And that makes it unique. It is a fantastic place to go diving, I tell you. I really like it. Nature on the island, it's all over the place, and it's a very nice combination of human activities and all of the sudden nature, like parrots. We have 2 types here, the parakeet and the lora, which is the parrot itself. Obviously, flamingos and donkeys. In my neighborhood where I live, I'm many times woken up by the donkeys screaming next to my fence, or the little birds or parrots just eating out of the trees I have at home. So that is very nice feeling. And it's a feeling you get when you come here to the island as a tourist at Bonaire Resort. We have very nice gardens and they're full of birds all the time. So it is nice to wake up early in the morning and capture marine life and obviously wildlife on the island interacting together. So Divers Paradise, it is a paradise. We have 80 plus dive sites, and that's a combination of Bonaire itself and the island of Klein Bonaire. Most of them accessible from the shore, and I will say pretty access from the shore if we pay attention, obviously, where to get in, where to get out, and set up landmarks to do so. They're all marked with a yellow rock, and that rock is a simple idea, but works very good because that yellow rock is telling you the dive site you're at. To get there, the Marine Park offers free maps, paper maps, with all the dive sites listed by numbers and names. So you can choose where to go and just head there, look for the yellow rock, and as simple as that. It doesn't get any simpler than that. 24/7 diving freedom is something that is spoken on the island at every dive shop, but Bonaire took it one step further because we have what we call a drive-through where you can just pull over, pick up tanks, 2 per person at the time, and head to the dive site you want, come back, and repeat. Our drive-through is open every single day from 8 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon. And then at our dock area, we have an open tank room. And by open, I mean there's no doors. So that means that you have access to tanks 24/7 for real. And it is amazing. I come to work early in the morning. I think that 10 to 7, I'm already here, or 7 a.m. at the latest. And there's guests coming out of the water because they have access to tanks early in the morning, or even at night, late at night, they jump in and make that happen. So that it is beautiful. Clear and calm waters, and pretty much guarantee year round that we have excellent conditions. On a bad day, I will say visibility can go to 60 feet, and this is a bad day. Imagine a good day can be 100 plus feet of visibility, and that it is beautiful. Creatures, and although we divers love to talk about the frogfish and the seahorse, there's much more to see on our reef, and the amount of creatures that we have, it is incredible. Our house reef is a place that is thriving with life, and then if we just pay attention and go slowly and look carefully in between the coral heads and such, you'll be surprised about the amount of blennies, for example, that you can see, besides obviously the popular frogfish and seahorse. Turtles, don't even mention it, they're everywhere. I think that they got more and more, and I think, no, I'm pretty sure, because the recent report from the organization who looks after the turtles here is showing that the population of turtles in Bonaire is thriving. And if you drive tomorrow, today, yesterday, to the south of the island, to the salt pier, lately we had easy 10, 15 turtles who are feeding on the turtle grass, really shallow. There maybe 10 feet of water, and they don't bother about divers. So that is super, super nice to know that nature is available, is everywhere we go. Obviously, we like shipwrecks, and although Bonaire is known for the pristine reef, we do have interesting wrecks to dive. And on this slide, we mentioned the Hilma Hooker, which is on the south of the island, easy access from the shore. And it is really close to the reef. It will start at 60 feet of water. It will go all the way down to 97, let me round it up to 100 feet of water. And there's big cargo holds. People who are obviously wreck diver certified, they could also take advantage of that. But at the same time, groups that come to the island and their instructors want to teach their guests different specialties, this becomes a really interesting and nice one to use as a tool to offer that for obviously guests coming to Bonaire. It is mentioned the Windjammer. The Windjammer is for technical diving. It's a very old shipwreck that is located on the north of the island. It sank in 1912. So it is challenging, but if you have proper training and right equipment and a local guide, because it's on private property for Bonaire Petroleum Company, you're allowed to go on an amazing dive. It will blow your mind away. The shipwreck will start around 150 feet all the way down to 200 feet. And it is amazing to be there. So options for diving, endless, I will say, on this island. And we are here to obviously make it happen. Talking about Hilma Hooker and the shipwreck, And the marine life, such as frogfish and sea turtles, we have some nice images here that can by itself explain you and show you what I'm talking about. The bottom left picture is the Windjammer, the shipwreck I was talking about. So it looks kind of spooky, but it is very, very beautiful. So to make all that happen, you need to stay somewhere for sure. And that's why we have Body Dive Resort. This is a property that it was built with divers in mind. So it is all thought and well thought about how accommodate divers on a comfortable way that they can obviously take advantage of all what I just described before. So we have 73 apartments, and that includes studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. So for individuals traveling alone or people coming with groups, dive shops or such, we can, for example, with the help of Cheryl at Deep Blue, organize, accommodate your group on a way that everybody will be happy and comfortable in the apartments. All the bedrooms have air conditioning. On site, we have 2 restaurants, we have swimming pools, we have raised sand beaches, and at the same time, access to the dive operation, access to the ocean, of course. We have our own fleet of car rentals, rental cars, 175 of them. We have a drive-through that I mentioned before. Recently, we did quite some work on it, so it is even more convenient, more comfortable for you to use. And during these crazy times that we're all obviously not doing what we're normally doing, we are still working at the drive-through, making it even better today as we speak. 6 custom dive boats. We have very comfortable boats. I don't know if you're familiar with the brand Newton boats. They're custom built boats for diving. This is what we have here. And we have from 30-foot all the way to 46-foot boats. We take good care of them, dedicated staff, mechanic, fiberglass workers and such to make sure the boats are in excellent shape all the time. The House Reef, no words to describe it. I will say the best way to describe it is a unique place that even though we have a lot of diving activity going on here, it's still amazing. It is beautiful, very well maintained by itself, by nature, and by us, obviously. And the marine life that is related to it is there all the time. Multilingual professional staff, 52 of us are ready to serve you. And 52 goes from retail store staff, drive-through attendants, course directors, technical divers, dive instructors, of course. And languages can go from Spanish, English, German, Italian, Portuguese, you name it. We speak it all. And if we don't know it, we'll hire somebody who speaks the language you're asking for. And that makes a Body Dive Resort, I have to say, unique. This is Blenny's restaurant. And the view, well, it speaks for itself. So at this moment, repeaters who are used to Body Dive already, we changed completely the roof and the layout of the bar, of Blenny's restaurant itself, and it's looking fantastic. If you go on Facebook, you can see my colleague Macy. She made a nice update video about what's happening, and this is what we have going on. And when you guys come back, you can sit on that table and enjoy the sunset with a nice cold beer. And I think that will stay forever in your mind. Ingredients Restaurant, a little bit more upscale than Blenny's, and it's open at night only. Blenny's is open for lunch and dinner. In the case of Ingredients, well, as you can see, once again, that view from the Caribbean Sea is priceless. And the service that we offer at Ingredients is very, very nice, and also fresh fish from the local market. So it makes it a very nice opportunity for a romantic dinner or just friends going out at night. This is a view from our apartments inside. I will say our apartments are spotless, are comfortable. As a diver, I think you need, and I'm part of this obviously, a clean place to crash after you've been diving all day long, but at the same time, a place where you can sit, you can check your emails if you want. I will never do that on my vacation, but sometimes you have to, no choice. But also the option to cook if you want to cook something, to have something in your fridge. So Body Dive Resort apartments are well equipped for that. The dive shop, I'm part of it. For the past 18 years I've been working here, so I can talk out of my heart about the dive operation because we put a lot of heart and we take serious comments from our repeat customers or first timers trying to improve. So we are full service dive operation. Any course you want, we can teach it here. And I mean any course you want. And if I tell you, and I will make you laugh for sure, before all this happened 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago to be more precise, we taught a dry suit class as well. Warm waters, yes, but why not? There was a family who were planning to go on a trip, but they required to use dry suits, and they chose us to learn how to properly use it. So why not? We can go as far as that. I don't think about ice diving as a possibility, but we can work around it for sure. We mentioned the dive boats. We have them. Free nitrox in our packages. We include the nitrox. So if you're nitrox certified, you can just grab your nitrox tank and go as simple as that. We have a very nice setup of nitrox analyzers all over the place, right through dock area on the boats. So it will make your life really, really easy. But it's also a very interesting option for groups coming here with their own instructors. And within the group, you have people who are not nitrox certified. Well, you can use this opportunity to teach them, and at any extra cost, they can, in no time, start using nitrox while they're on vacations on Bonaire. We have high-end rental equipment. Yes, our BCDs are from the brand Tusa. Our regulators are from Dive Right. Dive Right is a very well-known manufacturer, specializing in technical diving equipment for cave diving or tech diving itself, but at the same time, they have a very good, safe, and beautiful line of recreational dive equipment, and we chose, obviously, them as our brand. Our wetsuits are from Waterproof, and we upgrade our equipment every 2 years. Whether it's looking good or not, we change it no matter what. So that's very good to know. Drive-through, open 7 days a week from 8 to 6. The house reef will never close, will be accessible for you at all times. If you want to become a pro, why not Bonaire? So we have a diving academy that for the past 9 years is been teaching non-stop, creating new instructors, which by the way, a lot of them work for me because why not? I know that they're trained in a good place. I know that they're willing to experience Caribbean life, and we're here to help. But not only that, we can go from kids all the way, like I just mentioned, instructors. So we can teach anything, once again, that is available and is in our hands to make it happen. Technical diving courses. Technical diving has been growing more and more, becoming more interesting, more available for everybody like this who is into that. And we have a dedicated technical diving department here where we facilitate everything you want. And obviously, if you don't have the proper training or the training itself, we're here to help you. If you like to take the next level, we offer GUE courses at the same time as we offer PADI and NAUI training as well. Kids diving. What to do with the kids when we go on vacations? It's a frequently asked question. And we have the answer here. We take care of them, no worries. From the Body Kids Clubs that we start from 5 years old all the way to 8, and we teach them not only about have fun, but we educate them about marine life, for example, fish ID, how to snorkel. We use SASI. I don't know if you know what SASI is, but it's a flotation device with a small tank with a regulator. So it's like the first step for them into diving. They cannot go down, obviously, they will be floating on the surface, but you will be amazed how quickly they get it, how quickly they understand how it works, and how much fun it is for them. The PADI SEAL team, PADI Bubble Maker and DSD, obviously available. Junior PADI courses, obviously available. And we run the Kids Sea Camp twice a year here. We work with familydivers.com as well. And to summarize, we are experienced dive operation when it's about kids handling. And we have a lot of fun too, which is very important. Technical diving, like I mentioned before, full support, open circuit, closed circuit, you name it. We do it here. We organize it here. Any custom blends you need from O2 all the way up to 100%, high pressure O2 for river divers, trimix blends, standard GE gases. We have it, we'll make it happen. We organize technical diving events. This year we have now in May, which is not happening, we will reschedule it. CCR week, which is River Week. And in October, we still have Bonaire Tech. Those punctual events attract a lot of people interested in the technical diving world. But through the year, nonstop, we work offering the service of technical diving. And every single week that we have a guest in-house, we have 1 or 2 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 technical divers, and we cater for their requests with no problems. We have to take care of our reef. We depend on them. And 7 years ago, there was this foundation called, still exists, called Coral Restoration Foundation Bonaire. Nowadays, it's called Reef Renewal Foundation Bonaire. And Buddy Dive, together with other dive operations, joined forces with them. So we are sponsors and obviously members of such a foundation. And that foundation, founded in 2012, is looking after the reef. It's trying to restore the shallow water part population of staghorn and elkhorn corals on Bonaire. And on a smart approach, dive operations who are part of the foundation have their own nurseries. And right out here at Buddy Dive Resort, we have a very big nursery where we take care of baby corals, let me put it like this, and then we outplant them in our house reef or other places that the foundation chooses to, with the marine park that needs to be restored. This has been amazing. It's been very, very rewarding to Bonaire and to the planet, let me put it like this, because we're giving back and we have to give back, and we're doing it with a big smile. Said that, I have a nice video here that I would like to share, and it will show you what is Bonaire about and what is Buddy Dive and Bonaire about.
Voted the #1 dive resort in the world by Scuba Diving Magazine's Reader's Choice Award 2014, Buddy Dive Resort is the perfect retreat for your next dive vacation. Explore the gorgeous Caribbean waters and vibrant marine life of Bonaire, scuba diving's #1 24/7 dive destination. Complete with 2 swimming pools and 11 modern buildings that house spacious apartments accommodations, the resort was built with guest comfort in mind. The spectacular views can be enjoyed over a drink at the bar. When you're not out diving with sea turtles and exploring the ocean floor, Blenny's Restaurant and Ingredients Restaurant at the Buddy Dive offer the perfect backdrop as you sit back and relax and enjoy the oceanfront views. One of the highlights of staying at the resort is enjoying convenient dives on Buddy's Reef. Whether you're a new diver or a seasoned pro, there is something for you at Buddy Dive Bonaire. Known for its pristine reef system, Bonaire is protected by one of the first marine parks of its kind in the world. In a continued effort to preserve the reef system for future generations, Buddy Dive started the Coral Restoration Foundation Bonaire. Fully equipped rental trucks and unlimited air and nitrox are available on land, making it easy to explore more than 86 award-winning dive sites, reachable by shore or boat. With friendly and professional dive masters and instructors, the resort provides a full array of recreational and professional dive courses, as well as tech diving and PADI certification. Join the experienced and welcoming dive staff on their morning and afternoon boat dives. Every day of the year, a custom dive boat goes out to explore the many dive sites on nearby island of Klein Bonaire, a short 10-minute boat ride away. The sea is remarkably calm and the conditions are superb for both scuba diving and snorkeling. Enjoy an unhurried, unspoiled natural paradise, offering crystal clear turquoise waters, gentle breezes, and spectacular sunsets. Contact Buddy Dive Bonaire to book the ultimate dive vacation. For more information on packages and specials, visit www.buddydive.com.
Right, I hope you enjoyed it. This is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Augusto. We really appreciate it. We got a lot of questions being fired out at us, so we are we're gonna.
I don't hear you anymore. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Something happened there that switched me
I
off.
hear you. I hear you.
Okay,
I hear you.
Great. We have a lot of questions coming in, so I'm going to shoot a few at you right now. So, Stephen, you are. Bear with me for a sec. Oh, come on. All right, Stephen, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the presentation. If I go fishing, can I get the chef at the resort to cook my catch?
That's a very good question, and it's a very tasty question. And yes, it is possible. And it wasn't on the slide, but also we offer lionfish hunting courses. And when you go lionfish hunting and then you catch obviously some lionfish, you can bring your catch, and then the chef will cook it for you. If you go on a fishing charter and then you catch some fish, obviously, then you can bring also part of your catch, and then they will cook it here. They will charge a fee, obviously, a small fee, I don't know the amount, a cooking fee, and then you can enjoy your own catch. Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Jay, I think you're unmuted. Bear with me. Everything's kind of bouncing around a little bit. But Jay, you had a similar question about fly fishing. I don't know if that answered it at all, or if you have a little more. And bear with me. I'm having it's just not letting me unmute you. But yeah, okay. Jay had asked. I mean, it's very similar, Augusto. So you may have kind of already covered it, but he is saying he loves diving as well as fly fishing. Do you offer guides for fly fishing flats, for a bonefish permit and tarpon? And can this be arranged?
That's a very good question, as a matter of fact, because fly fishing for bone fishing, as we know, the elusive bonefish have many friends who like to capture them. And there's some regulations on the island, some places where you're allowed to go and not. And there's companies, third-party companies, who offer fly fishing guided trips. And we can arrange it here on site at Buddy Dive Resort with obviously our third-party companies. And yes, it is possible to do it.
Okay. Mike, I'll unmute you as fast as I can, but he had said he'd like you to talk a little bit about the ostracod dive, which is awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Definitely. Ostracod, let me put it like this, it's an event that we should all, divers, take advantage of it while we're on Bonaire and experience it. An ostracod, for the ones who don't know what it is, it's a little crustacean that lives in the plankton and related to the moon during the specific phases of the moon. And I'm talking about the 8 to 10 days after full moon. The ostracod needs to reproduce. And for the ostracod boy to attract the ostracod girl, he needs to become, you know, very popular within thousands of them. And the best way for them to attract the female is by producing bioluminescence. And they show, and it's an amazing display of lights, let me put it like this, underwater, obviously. And this happens, obviously, in total darkness. So you can picture thousands of ostracods doing their thing, showing so much light that you will be just blown away while you're doing that dive. We offer it, obviously, at Buddy Dive Resort. It's a guided dive, maximum 6 people per dive, per guide, sorry. And we do require the divers to have night diving experience because this is done in total darkness. We use a light to guide the people to the specific location. It's all related to depth, to underwater composition, to time, the time of the day. And then once we arrive to the location, we turn off the lights and then the show will start. It's just a few minutes. It's not a long dive because it's a short window for the ostracods to do their thing, let me put it like this. But it is amazing, amazing, amazing. So you're more than welcome to join when you guys come to Bonaire. You can mail me in advance to check when you're coming, and I check against obviously the moon calendar, and then see if it's gonna happen or not during the time you'll be here. Yes.
Mike, did that help?
Yeah, I was just I've done that dive before. I dove with Buddy Dive Resorts, great operation. I just wanted to mention that because it is a fantastic dive that not a lot of people know about. I just kind of wanted to put it out there.
Yeah, it was years ago, it was like a secret. Some people knew and not many people wanted to share. And you know, those are the things that you need to share because not many people dive, and the ones who have the benefit of enjoying marine life, diving, should be able to obviously experience that.
Yeah, it's one of the most. It's definitely a top 10 dive for me. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there so other people are aware of it because it is a fantastic dive.
It is. It is. Well, you'll do it again when you come back.
I will absolutely do it again. We did it 3 times and absolutely loved every time.
All right. Well, thank you.
We have Deborah Gibson. Well, hold on, bear with me because I'm trying to get through my hands. Let's see. John Bergen. Yeah, your Zoom is saying that you can't talk. So I don't know if you want to type in the questions and answers or in the chat box down there, and we'll read your question out for you. Marlo Schimpf, you should be on right now with your microphone if you unmute yourself. Okay, I don't hear Marlo.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Is this Marlo?
Okay. Yes. So is there a lot that's accessible without a vehicle? And
without a vehicle, let me put it like this. If you want to experience Bonaire completely, 100%, you need a vehicle.
Okay.
Nevertheless, and for example, in our packages, and Cheryl can explain you later about the packages if you want to, but in our packages, we include a vehicle. So you don't need to go and rent a car because if you get the package that we offer, you get the vehicle. If you don't want, and sometimes we have people, to be honest to you, who don't want to be driving around and they can still enjoy Bonaire because our dive operation, we have the boats. So you can dive our house reef as much as you want and you will never get tired of it. It's amazing. And then you can jump on any of our boats and then we'll take you obviously to places that most likely you cannot reach from the shore. That's why we use the boat. But nevertheless, we go, for example, to the south of the island, to the shipwreck called the Hilma Hooker. Although it's accessible from the shore, we take you by boat. But if you ask me, and my advice, if you come to Bonaire, get a car because then you can drive around also. And you can not only dive, you can also go and see the flamingos, go to the East Coast and look at the windsurf place. And it's beautiful. There's a lot to offer here, a lot to see too.
More to explore.
Yes.
Well, also, dietary restrictions. What are we looking at food-wise? We're plant-based. Obviously, there's fish, but produce is easily accessible at this market.
Yeah, well, let me put it like this. Number one, if you have some dietary restrictions and requests before you come to the island, obviously you can send it in via the tour operator or directly. And this way, for example, for breakfast, in our packages, the breakfast is included. So they can for sure check what is available on the market for you to enjoy your breakfast. Then plant-based, we have very good supermarkets nowadays here. When I came here 18 years ago, it was like a very nice challenge to find some fresh vegetables here and there. But nowadays, we have them coming from Europe, from North America, from South America, and locally nowadays, they're also growing vegetables. I just went last week and I bought amazing fresh salad grown on the island, cucumbers and such. So it is possible nowadays to find, obviously maybe never like at home, if you have a specific things that you like to eat, but mostly you can get by quite easily here with food.
Very well. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Real quick, Augusto, while we're still talking, because we've got a little bit of time still, a couple of people are saying, can you please put a pretty picture back up or something like that, because everybody's staring at a black screen and they want you to
Oh my God,
back.
sorry.
Yeah. They want you to take us back to Bonaire.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Let me look, let me see if I can get a picture. Yeah. Well, this is for the ostracot. It's dark. We're looking for ostracots here. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a very nice one.
Yes, it is. And actually, it's great because we've got 2 or 3 questions going on. If you can tell us a little bit more about the Coral Restoration Project, can they be part of actually transplanting? What different options are available at the nursery, or that good stuff? So can you share a little bit more about the coral nursery that you have right out there on your house reef?
Definitely. I've been involved with the foundation since day one, so I can tell you exactly what's happening and how you can help. So the foundation is working day in, day out. Even now that everything is pretty much frozen, the foundation is still working because obviously the corals are still growing and they need maintenance. So to be part of it, Body Dive Resort, in this case, being one of the sponsors and members of the foundation, offers every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. an open public presentation for everybody to sit and listen what it's all about. So this way we can engage people into the activities we offer. How can they engage? Well, obviously, it's not only knowing how to dive, because believe it or not, it requires some skills to be able to be like this person on the picture, neutral, buoyant, busy, taking care of a coral. To be able to do that, you need to also understand what it's all about. So together with Paddy, we designed a distinctive specialty course, which is called Reef Renewal Diver. And it takes 1.5 days. And during that 1.5 days, we train divers how to be reef renewal divers. And that training consists on theory, obviously, and then 3 dives where we put in practice all what you learn on land. And that goes from maintenance of the nurseries. What you see there is called a nursery tree. And on that picture, the trunk, for example, and the branches of the trees, they will get covered with algae. And if we don't clean it on time, that algae will, for sure, affect the growth of the coral. So one of the dives is dedicated to nursery maintenance. So we'll show you how to properly clean and such. Then the corals you see hanging on that tree, they need to be pruned. It's like gardening. So we cut them in the smaller pieces. This is what the diver is doing there with the plier in the hand. And then we rehang those smaller pieces on the trees. And then after 6 to 7 months, perhaps 8, depends on how fast they grow, it's time to outplant them back to the reef. And that is also part of the training that we offer during the specialty class. So we go from maintenance to pruning to obviously outplanting corals back to the reef. At the end of the course, obviously you get certified, and that certification will not only qualify you as a reef renewal diver, but makes you a volunteer for life. And we have many guests who come here to the resort for the past 7 years now. And they dedicate maybe 1 day of their vacation, maybe 1 dive of their vacation. Some of them stay here for 2 months, and they volunteer during that time to the foundation. And it's very rewarding. And it's something that everybody should do. I think every single diver should take this class just to learn more and put more love into it and to give back to the reef that we all love.
Fantastic, lovely. Craig, you've got your hand up still, and you had asked about that. I don't know if that covered everything, but you're on the microphone now if you wanted to ask anything further regarding that, or if you had a different question. Craig Whitaker, if you're there, you have to unmute your microphone too in the bottom left corner. I hear something moving around. Okay, Craig, if you want to type, if you have any other questions, if that didn't cover it, I know you did have questions about the coral restoration. If that didn't cover it, please type it in the Q&A and I'll ask Augusto on your behalf. Ken, I have you off mute, so please go ahead with your question.
This is Augusto's worst nightmare. Good morning, Augusto.
Hello, good morning. No, it's okay. No worries. It's very nice. It's
I got
yes.
up early for you this morning. Hey, question for you. And by the way, guys, I go to Bonaire and dive with Augusto pretty much every year, and the house reef is fantastic. I dive it almost every single day. We'll do a dusk dive. But what I was wondering, Augusto, is with the worldwide shutdown now, you've effectively closed the dive park probably for a couple of months. And what we find in places like Yosemite, the elk are coming back and wolves are wandering around. There's a beach in India where 70,000 turtles have started nesting because normally the beach is busy. And we're seeing nature sort of take over places that, once the humans are gone. Are you seeing any of that yet on the reefs? Or do you think that will be happening, that Bonaire, which is certainly prolific, will become even more so in a couple of months?
Well, that's a very good question. And I will tell you with my own experience, because although I think it's too early to say something about like this, like water quality and such, because it's been just a couple of weeks, 4 weeks to be more precise. But normally I'm so busy with my daily work that I don't get much time to go diving. Nowadays, I'm diving every single day in the afternoons at the house reef. And what I experienced last week, it was me and my dive buddy diving the house reef here. And that's it, only 2 divers. The amount of fish that we had around us, and normally this house reef, as you know and you mentioned, it is quite active and quite busy with marine life. But it got my attention that I had a stingray next to me that it didn't bother. And the amount of schoolmasters, for example, it was fantastic. And then we had brown crummies, but all over the reef, there were thousands, if not millions of them. And it shocked me, to be honest to you. And I didn't want to say, well, this is because of the shutdown and not many divers. But at the same time, it made me think, well, maybe it is. Because we went also to the nursery on Claim Bonaire to work there with a reef renewal. And we have stingrays, again, baby, a medium size, all laying around in the sandy area that normally you don't see them that often. We have an eagle ray that the captain says it was swimming around the boat. So perhaps it is happening. And I will say, yes, why not? And I don't think that we divers bother marine life much because we like to see it. But on a way, not being there might also give them the chance to, well, the thing with bubbles is not around. Let me go and check around and swim around freely, perhaps, I would say.
Very good thing. And I'll give you a warning. Before we started, I reconfirmed our postponed dates. So we're coming back August 28th. Schedule your vacation now.
Thanks for a heads up. We'll see you here. We'll be here for sure.
All right, Augusto. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thanks for joining.
Robert Lee, you're on if you want to ask your question.
Can you hear me? Am I there?
Yes, you sure are. We can
My
hear you.
question was, are all of your dive masters and boat captains CPR and O2 certified?
Yes, sir. As I mentioned before, we have Diving Academy here, and that gives me the opportunity to train everybody according to standards and to the highest standards you can imagine. So all of them are not only EFR trained, most of them are EFR instructors, and we periodically run scenarios where we keep everybody up to date. And not only the dive masters and instructors, the resort staff, front office staff, restaurant staff, they all get trained and they get refreshed. Every 6 months, we do a refreshment for everybody where we make sure that they know how to use an oxygen unit, how to activate an emergency plan and such.
Excellent. Is there a chamber on Bonaire?
Yes, sir. The name of the hospital is called the San Francisco Hospital. And there's a super nice part of the facility where there's a walk-in chamber. And we have actually on the island 4 hyperbaric doctors who obviously operate the chamber. And then there's volunteers from different dive operations who've been trained how to operate the chamber that also run the chamber. And it's only 5 minutes away from the resort. And unfortunately, we have to use it many times. And I tell you that the first response is fantastic. It's a phone call away, is how I say it, because I call them and in 5 minutes, the ambulance is here and they've been treated very good. And so far, everybody walk away happy, let me put it like this.
Very good. Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir.
Okay, we have Brent that's been waiting patiently, and then that will have to be our last question for now. So Brent, you're on.
Am I coming through?
Yes, you are.
Okay, Augusto, bon dia.
Bon dia.
One question, how gravely were you impacted by the lionfish there in Bonaire?
Very good. Well, I like all the questions. I will be happy to answer them all day long because I really like this. Lionfish, as we know, is present all over the Caribbean. And I think that the marine park started early taking actions. And I remember being part of it. We started with little nets, trying like catching a butterfly. We were trying the baby lionfish. And like this, we progressed with the whole issue till today, where lionfish population on the island, let me put it, is under control. It's not obviously eradicated, and we will never be able to eradicate them, but it is under control, meaning that they exist, but meaning that they're not taking over the reef, the marine life on the reef. We have local divers who are lionfish hunters, and they go on a weekly basis, and they do a very good job cleaning up the reef. And obviously that trigger business-wise on the island. They sell the fish to restaurants, so you can now go to nowadays you can go to a restaurant and order either a lionfish chowder, lionfish burger, and such. So it works. We offer a course. Also, our course director, Pepe, he designed the lionfish hunter distinctive specialty for Bonaire. So tourists who come to the island and they want to participate, they take that class. It's only 1 day, 2 dives. And after that, they're certified and authorized to go lionfish hunting. The marine park requires that you need a guide, a local guide, to take you lionfish hunting. In our case, you know, there's always a way around things. And to do it, obviously, following the rules, we have boats. Dive masters on the boats are all lionfish hunters. So if you join any of our dive boats and you took your class, you can just go hunting with us by boat without having to hire an extra dive master. But nevertheless, if you want to go from the shore and you like to hire a dive master, you just ask, request it, and we'll make it happen. And if you never try them, let me tell you, they taste very, very good. I'm going Saturday lionfish hunting, and I know what I'm having for dinner. Lionfish for sure.
Yes, they are. They're very tasty. I've had them several times. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, Augusto.
You're very welcome, and hopefully I'll see you all very soon on Bonaire. So let's work this out together and then get back where we want to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Amen. We did have one question. I'm not going to cover it right now, but Luann had asked about COVID and when the island is opening back up. I know each one, everything is changing. It's honestly changing daily. You're welcome to reach out to us on our Facebook Messenger, our website chat, email, phone, what have you. We're watching all the various different destinations and can let you know what's going on at the time. I just wanted to let Luann know that we hadn't missed you there.